Italy and Romania will both have a point to prove and will be looking to build confidence in their game on Saturday. My name's Mark. Let's talk rugby. Italy v Romania. This one is at the Stadio Riviera del Parme in San Benedetto del Tronto. It's on Saturday, 19th of August, and kickoff is at 5:30 BST. So it actually clashes with Ireland versus England. So I'll be watching it probably in full on Sunday rather than on the day that it's played. So, I will do a review on it, but it's going to be probably Sunday evening by the time that review comes out. Okay, so we're going to have a look at the two teams, starting with the home team, Italy. So, fullback, you got Ange Capuozzo coming back. It's great to see him. He's been out for a lot of this year with injuries, so it's great to see him back there. And hopefully he comes through this safe and sound. I don't think there's any doubt that if he's fit, he's probably going to be the starting 15 for the Rugby World Cup. Then you got Paolo Odogu on the right wing. I think that right wing spot, you got Bruno there as well, and a few others you could play there. So I think that right wing spot is up for grabs. He's going to have to put in a decent performance there, though. The centres then, you got Juan Ignacio Brex and Luca Morisi. A decent centre combination there. I think Mencello got a knock, right? I don't know whether, hopefully he's going to be back for the Rugby World Cup. I'm not too sure about that. I think Brex and Mencello will probably be, for me, a starting centre combination for them, but, Morisi in there too. Brex is decent. You got Monty Ioane as well on the left wing. I think he is the starting left wing for them. You got Paolo Garbisi at 10. You got Tommaso Allen on the bench there. Those two are going to kind of battle out for the 10 spot. You then got Alessandro Garbisi at 9 as well. So you have the brothers starting there at 9 and 10 together. So that's going to be very special for them. Alessandro Garbisi, I think he made his debut last year in the game against Romania in Bucharest as well. But again, for Italy, I don't think the halfbacks are kind of set in stone yet ahead of the Rugby World Cup. There's a lot of people, good players putting their hands up there. Onto the forwards then, you got Toa Halafihi at 8. So he's gotten a few starts now at 8 in the warm-ups. For me, you got Lorenzo Canone there on the bench. I think he's going to be part of that back row. I'd imagine it will be, himself, Lamaro and Negri as the starting back row. But Halafihi, he looks like he can do a job there too. And, he may, if he performs well, may actually keep that spot. For me, I'd start Canone there. Then you got Michel Lamaro coming back as captain. Absolutely going to be a starter in the Rugby World Cup. And I think he's going to have, whether Italy get out of the pool or not, most people are thinking it's going to be not. We have to be realistic about that. But still, I think that this Rugby World Cup, with him as the captain, we already saw through the Six Nations that, they're going to put in some decent performances, I think. And they're going to, inspire the generation, I think, that brings Italy to a point where, right now, anybody that's even playing for Italy right now could never dream of, talking about Italy maybe winning Six Nations championships and that kind of thing as well, because Italy are a nation on the rise. I know a lot of people who don't watch rugby all that often and don't watch URC, etc., kind of just see Italy in the Six Nations losing all the games and not getting out of the pool in Rugby World Cups and think, it was the same old team, kick them out of the Six Nations, give somebody else a try. But this team is absolutely a step up on where they've been before. Their under-20s are killing it as well at that level too. There's obviously plenty of talent coming through, and I think because of that, the interest in rugby in Italy is growing, and this team here are going to be, people, I honestly think that a captain who wins, who lifts the Six Nations trophy for Italy will talk about how when he was a kid, he watched like Michel Lamoureux captain his country at the Rugby World Cup and said that he wanted to do that one day too. That's how special I think this guy is. You got Sebastian Negri in there as well. I think absolutely going to be a starter in the Rugby World Cup. The second row then, you got Dino Lam and Nicola Canone. So I think Canone is probably a definite starter in the Rugby World Cup. Lam, I think he's probably, finding out for a bench spot if everybody is fit and available for the second rows. Then front row, you got Simone Ferrari, Giacomo Nicotera, and then even Neymar. So, two of those three, Ferrari and Nicotera, I think will absolutely be involved in, putting hands up to start in the Rugby World Cup. Neymar, I think, is someone who has got a shot at it. They can do it at this level. On the bench then, you got Fiva there coming on at hooker. Again, going to be putting the hands up for selection. I think you got Zani in the front row, who has shown that they can do it in the past. You got Ciccarelli as well, who, another one I think who's going to be involved in certainly match day squads for the big games. Then you got Ruzza, who I think is going to be with Nicola Canone probably forming that second row starting partnership in the Rugby World Cup. Then Lorenzo Canone, who again I think will probably start ahead of Halafihi in the Rugby World Cup. You got Alessandro Fusco there too. Again, battling out for number 9 jersey. I think Tommaso Allen himself, it's between himself and Garbisi really for the 10 jersey, I think, at the Rugby World Cup. Then you got Lorenzo Pani as 23rd man. Haven't been overly convinced by him, and that's why I think that if Capozzo was fine, he just gets the 15 jersey back because he's that much better than anything else that is available. On to then the Romania team. So honestly, I don't watch Romanian test teams, and I don't watch the Romanian league either. So I can't tell you really anything about these guys, even ones who are playing it, in France or wherever. But we'll run through the teams anyway. So we got Julian Hartig in the front row, then Ovidiu Kojakaru, Alexandru Gordas. So that's the front row. Second row then is Adrian Motok, Stefan Yanku. Then the back row is Damien Stratilla, Vlad Nekulau, and Christy Chiricha, I think, is the captain. Then halfbacks Alan Konash and Mihai Murasan. Left wing is Nicholas Onutu. The centres then Taylor Gontinake and Jason Tomane, or Tomaine maybe. Right wing then is Marius Simonescu, and fullback is Hikli Vaovasu. The bench then we got Florin Bardasu, Alexandru Savin, George Gargion, Mihai Makove, Dragos Ser, Florin Surigu, Gabriel Pop, and Tavita Manumua. So that is their team. I honestly can't give you much insight. I'm looking forward to watching this one and seeing how they look ahead of the Rugby World Cup, because obviously they're in the pool with Ireland. So I do want to learn a little bit more about them for that. So in terms of how, the last time these two played, they played last year. I think that was when Alessandro Garbisi made his Italian debut. It was finished Romania 13, Italy 45. But, early on in the game, I think Romania opened the scoring from the tee. Italy responded with a try, then Romania went back ahead, I think. And it was actually pretty close coming up to half time. Then Italy get a couple of tries right before the break and then just stretch away in the second half. So Romania, that's kind of going to be probably a template for the game. That opening game against Ireland is make things tight early on, keep it low scoring, and just make the other team nervous about that. And just hold on as long as you can. And, if you can get to half time with it being like a one score game, well, then you go into the second half with an absolutely amazing chance to cause a massive upset at the Rugby World Cup. Ireland, are going to want to be, very aware of that and try and get scores early. I think Italy the same in this game. They're not going to want a repeat of that. The final score is one thing, but you want that being able to get into your stride early and kind of start controlling the game from the start, because that's what Italy are going to have to do, I think, in their pool at the Rugby World Cup is, against the teams that they're expected to beat, that they don't want those to be arm wrestles, because if they are, then, they've got like two really big guns in there with New Zealand and France, so they're gonna want the lesser teams to be a little bit easier for them, and then for them to be ones causing problems to big guns in their pool. So in this one, I think that's what they're going to want to do. They're going to want to get into stride early. They're obviously going to be playing from all over the pitch as we've seen them before. That may work a little bit better against a Romanian defence than it would against the way we saw them, against France. It was France, right, that they played, I think, in their opening one. But was it, or was it Scotland? Whoever it was, anyway. You want to see them actually getting those things right, and I think this is the game for them now. They've got to get things to stick, and I think Capuozzo is going to give them a little bit more on that, because he's one player that once you get the ball in his hands, he can make something happen, and he's one of those players that seems to have that little extra bit of time and space to do things in that other players at test level just can't manage to do, and because of that, I think he will allow them to be more accurate with those kind of things. Romania, as I said, they're going to want to show that they're not going to be pushovers. They're going to want to keep it tight. But I think in the end, Italy are going to win and win comfortably. But for them, it's going to be about how they actually get there in the first place.